in the matchup, right? You're talking about Clint versus Beatrix here. I gotta say, you need a little bit more time on the Clint because that power spike comes a lot sooner for this Beatrix, especially when we see that early BOD come out, already running that weapon mastery, usually the emblem. That is already gonna be a big threat here. So what does RSG Philippines want to round this out here? They've got a couple seconds, and it's gonna go ahead and be the Kufra.
Ooh, okay. I was thinking maybe they want to go for Natalia, but I think Kufra is a lot safer considering that, I mean, the last time we saw this come out of light, again, not exactly the best in RQ already, but now that he's fresh, I think this is going to be a good game.
It's a very high risk, high reward hero here in this game, and as the first game of the series in a best of 7, I think this is the time to go for these crazy picks, look for the momentum, and look for that confidence here. That's the #1 thing. You need to build up confidence right up as we start. But taking a look once again at the draft here for you, Nathzz, because for me, I actually prefer RRQ HOSHI's draft. Let's see what you think.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm going to say here, man. RSG Philippines, this is comfort. It looks good. The question is light on this Kufra. We've seen it, right? Make a little bit of mistakes, but hopefully he's figured it out for this game #1.
All right, I don't know. I'll hold off on my predictions until a little bit, but put your hands up. This is game #1 of the Grand Finals, a best of 7 between champions. RRQ on the blue side, up against RSG PH on the red.
It's going to be really interesting to see how they play for that early game. But we're going to have a lot of time to dissect on what...
They played a little bit too objectively yesterday, and now they've got a match against RRQ.
Well, we're going to take a look at it right as we enter the Land of Dawn. Ladies and gentlemen, RRQ HOSHI and RSG Philippines. Finn, you can already see the aggression that he wants to put. He flickers forward, he does not get it. A risky play here at the start of it all. As RSG try to look for the punish, they will be able to lock him down, and that's first blood taken over to Light.
Nicely done here. Oh, no. Wait, nope, it's fine. It's totally fine. Alberttt was still able to get the Litho Wanderer. Even though they did give first blood, it is going to be all right.
Okay, that was maybe a little bit too risk, but I guess it is game 1, right? So this is kind of what we expect from RRQ. That's what I was talking about before we jumped back into this game, was RSG Philippines used to playing that objective kind of slower pace, right? Meanwhile, RRQ really just going at it here, and that's kind of what they have to adapt to for the game.
Yeah, I think they need the breathing room, right? RSG PH, this is a good confidence booster, but the game isn't over just yet. The lanes are going to generally be fine, but I think mid lane control is going to be extremely important for RRQ HOSHI here, right? They're keeping their eyes on Aqua.
Oh, Alberttt already very aggressive here. I mean, RRQ in general, sure, they have actually given up the kill. It's 1-0, but they're still holding on to that gold lead currently. Well, even though it's really small, this is going to be huge for the upcoming turtle fight. But Demonkite up top, Phantom Execution already looking for the kill, forces that flicker out.
Breathers, I mean, it's good. RRQ are just making sure that they can kind of control that tempo, make sure they don't fall for these obvious moves on their Marseille. This is the default play. Now, this is where everything's going to happen.
You know, this turtle coming up here too. I mean, Albert's trying to just kind of bob and weave it around because he's not totally confident yet if he can just get this. But now they're going to actually make a play for it.
Yeah, Bill roll inflation. The falling time will connect, and that's going to be Alberttt with the retribution, picking it up for himself, trading it in. R7 will be able to find Demonkite there all alone, isolated. It is a favorable trade for the Kings.
Yeah, this is an extremely good trade, but if he gets a kill here onto Skylar, that could be even better. No cross-map plays, but RRQ HOSHI is in a good position. They got Alberttt a level ahead of Demonkite. They were able to get a turtle, so now it's all about whether to make this play.
Oh, Skylar gonna get caught there. Flickers out. The wild charge will be able to lock Light down. Well, Skylar in there doesn't want to risk it. On is still there. He's gonna snipe. Skylar just he reads it out. Backs all the way to push.
They're gold lanes. This is what I was talking about, right? I mean, it's very similar kind of strengths in terms of their own playstyles, but it does work out for them. It's going to come down to those minute differences, even in this top lane. So as we see this kind of develop through the game here, it will come down to those early objectives. They don't want to give those away. Demonkite running this Lancelot, he should have a little bit of an easier time on the turtles, but we already saw from the previous one, just RQ's confidence in grabbing that space around those objectives.
I want to talk about that happening on our side earlier, right? You definitely see a moment where Skylar was thinking about whether he should go and finish off that kill on light. But let's keep in mind that he did use his flicker, and Emann still has his. At any point, Emann could have gone and killed Skylar if he walked up too far, in case people are wondering. Now back to top side.
Yeah, Vin is looking for the play here. Nathzz, though, very good read. Instantly on that sprint. They're just so aware currently, right? Both of these teams reading each other out really well.
Yeah, and I think especially when you have Aqua here, with that Dawning Light, there's a lot of looming doom. If you are low and you get hit by Dawning Light at this stage of the game, you get pushed back so far behind.
Man, I feel like Aqua is just one of those, out of all the members of RSG Philippines, I'd say Aqua is one of the most low-key, right? Because a lot of people don't pay attention.
Wait, what? Light? He just got caught off camera there, and RRQ will have pressure for this turtle. They're looking for it. RSG, I don't think it's going to be a wise move for them to go for it. And yes, Demonkite uses that Phantom Execution. Vin, just to add salt to the wound there, he goes on and walls it off, but the turtle secured for RRQ.
Unfortunate for RSG, but RRQ don't get too much off of this, right? They get the turtle, yes, they get a little bit of EXP, but now they need to converge it here down on bot side.
Emann trying to maneuver himself out of here. He goes in for the Wesker, but he's going to be pinned down by Alberttt. Clayyy picks up the kill, and they will be able to just shut him down in this gold lane. That's what you need.
Yeah, that's how you answer a Beatrix, right? You just go focus on the lane. And also, I mean, this is the power of also having that Grok available to you, because you can just make choke points yourself with that Guardian's Barrier.
Absolutely, and especially since Emann, he failed his flicker, immediate punish coming in from RRQ. Every single time I see RRQ play against RSG, they make sure they ask that question to RSG. They demand perfection out of them. They cannot make these mistakes. But the score is close, 3-2. Bottom side play has already gone through. And more importantly, coming back to the topic onto Aqua, I think Xavier's perfect on him. He's a low-key player who takes his time but makes the impact when it counts. It's something that if RRQ HOSHI just forgets or lets through, Aqua can come in huge.
Yeah, I think if you're talking about that too, you know, later portion of the game, you have the Dawning Light, but hold on, they set up.
Yeah, and that's gonna be Vin just taken down. They're looking for the whoa, they're looking for it. The damage will be there. I did not expect him to be able to burst Emann down with one real world manipulation, but he has one kill, and he's just a level ahead of Aqua, so you can see where this damage is coming from.
This is, I mean, I wasn't expecting that kind of damage already coming out from this Eve. I mean, he just got deleted, so now we can already see Emann just struggling already in this portion of the game. Now, RSG Philippines has to respond. They could be looking for a play up top.
I don't know about this play, man. He goes in for the Phantom Execution. R7 with the flicker almost just outplays him. He's looking for the play onto Nathzz here as the Dawning Light will not. Oh! That pure class prediction by Aqua.
Magic Pew Pew, TM from Leo. That is the play right there. The cross-map play they have to watch out for. Again, if Aqua is low-key enough, able to pick up kills here, that will be able to help him scale later into the game, because like I was going to say, Aqua low-key, but late game, he's not going to be low-key anymore, especially with that low cooldown ultimate.
Oh my goodness. I mean, if he's in the enlightened form, he does get cooldown reduction, and that's why it's used so very often and pretty haphazardly most of the time. But you gotta admit, this is one of the moments where you gotta hate a little bit on how it looks visually, because R7 very clearly sidestepped it, but the damage doesn't come through because the projectile itself travels at a different pace. So R7, thinking that he's already dodged it visually, walks back into it and gets hit.
So you literally have to do math.
Yes.
Meanwhile, playing the game. That's pretty tough.
It is really tough, right? And that's why Xavier has just been such a good pick overall. And MSC, not so much because of the win rate here, but I think RSG Philippines, again, they have a very good composition to pull this off. Offense over defense. Light, he's already setting up for a play here. He is already going, whoa, Finn, very aggressively. He thought he found someone there in that bush, but without that flicker, that's a huge resource burnt.
Yeah, and especially when it comes down to the backside of RSG PH, Emann now doesn't have to worry about Vin going for those bigger plays. He can visually see him try to look for those flanks instead, which gives him a little bit more room to breathe.
Speaking of low-key, right, notice Skylar, right? He hasn't really had to do much. He does have that one assist here, but this is the best case scenario for any marksman players, right? He's on this clip, doesn't have to worry about too much, and later on, he will be pumping out the damage as they transition to the later portion of the game. And right now, now, if you compare the two gold laners, Emann having a much harder time.
Yeah, I think some really good decisions here from RRQ. They're focusing on these outer turns to get some early gold. They're 2.4k ahead. A lot of it is coming down from Skylar, just chunking down these turrets. If he was on Beatrix, he'd be doing it even faster and more safely. But with Clint, there's a little bit of risk involved. So that's why he's calling for Alberttt, calling for Vin to kind of open up that area for him so he can safely do it, and RSG aren't able to punish.
And what I like about Skylar here is that he actually opted for the Killing Spree emblem, right? On Clint, yes, that's usually what you go for, but there is an option to go for weapon mastery too, honestly. If you just want to do glass cannon plays, if you want to go and stay behind, I feel like weapon mastery can work better. But again, with this Killing Spree, what that allows him to do is just stay aggressive and keep on pumping the damage even when he's opposition.
And based on the emblems that he does take, he's not looking for regular base damage. He's also not looking for attack speed. It's just raw armor penetration. He wants to chunk it out as soon as possible. Now, it's Lord time.
Ooh, Light actually going in for the Tiner's Rage. Doesn't connect onto anyone here. Might be punished. Gets chunked low. Alberttt looking for the heavy spin, baiting out that flicker from Light, but in the mid lane, Nathzz gets caught out. Phantom execution now as Demonkite looks for compensation. Alberttt dodging away, and Emann with the Mirror's Passion will not be able to find anyone. Skylar picks up a double, converts it onto mid turret, and this might be a free Lord for RRQ.
Okay, so see, this is what we were talking about in the draft, right? Light takes the Kufra, unfortunately makes a bad call, gets out of position, and RRQ is going to punish him for that. And that's also just most likely going to be a free Lord for them as well. So this is already RRQ just punishing, you know, the new guys right now.
Risk and reward. Lord slain by RRQ, but this is not Luminous just yet. We need to talk about this previous play because, again, Vin plus Clayyy, they are working really in sync right now. It feels like they are in a mobile suit, working together, minds alike. Guardians Barret making sure they are cutting off exit routes for a lot of the members for RSG to allow Clayyy to lay waste. He's already got the Ice Queen's wand. He's already got the Talisman as well, making sure that he is effective. And now third item, Necklace of Durance.
Oh, so much utility coming through from Clayyy. We saw this as well yesterday, right? When he does get the Eve, he actually opts for a more utility-based item build to enable Skylar, to even enable Alberttt here on the Akai, and they're looking for more on the board. They're zoning RSG away as that's Demonkite caught out of the top side. Solo kill?
That was just R7 in the top lane. I mean, I saw the pressure there, but this is what I'm saying, right? Lancelot isn't the... It's really hard to make this pick work, and we're seeing it here. And now, RRQ's already knocking on the base of RSG.
Let's see if they can take it down. Nathzz going in for the falling side mode. Alberttt uses this to just punish him down. It missed some strike, and that's going to be Skylar who picks up the kill. They're looking to convert onto more objectives here. Top side, the passives are all taken down. They don't even need minions to take that one down. And the Lord, they didn't really, use the Lord much. They were just using the enhanced minions.
Now, that's usually the case when it comes down to the first Lord. I mean, Lord itself is not strong, and most of the time people play for the Luminous Lord for its passive to charge into turns. However, I will say, Light, there's a little bit of hesitation coming out of him. Oh no, this could be a big catch here.
Oh, Vin goes for the wild charge. Only finds Light there. Luckily, Emann still has his dash.
Yeah. Back to the previous play, right? And Nathzz, you got to tell me a little bit about this because, again, every time we've seen Light on it, does he usually hesitate with his Kufra? He has to make 2 to 3 decisions, and RRQ seem to always pose the same question. Go for our backline or immediately engage on the front line and maybe try to make a flicker play.
So that's the thing, right? Light has definitely played the Kufra before, but what we've seen in the past is, again, just a little bit of mistakes or miscalculations, if you will, right? He's trying to play math in his own head as well, and sometimes it doesn't work for him because sometimes it feels like he's forcing those fights. He's trying to force those moments for his team.
I get you. So that means RSG PH, as of right now, need to have some very clear ideas of where they want to attack RRQ HOSHI. This could mean that RRQ could change things up like they usually do in the middle of the game and change the way they kind of target prioritize. It could throw them off a little bit, but then again, it's anybody's game.
Absolutely. It is still anybody's game here. RSG, they're looking for that one team fight. Remember, it's a very Omega timerish composition here, what they have. So they might just be waiting for that exact time to look for that power spike. 16, 18 minutes in. That's what they're looking for. That's where they look for that one shot, one team fight.
Yeah, they learn from their opponents, like you said, Mirko, right? But now with this next Lord coming up here, they have to be super careful if they even want to contest this. It might be better if their plan is to get to those that 18-minute marker, right? Right here. They're just going to let it go, continue to defend, build those items that they need, because at this point, Emann had such a bad early game that he needs time to get the items, and Aqua as well, because at some point, those dawning lights will make a difference here. You can see a big pickup as well coming out from Emann.
Exactly. Let's pull up the item list real quick because Emann right now is currently at 3 items. He hasn't finished the Hunter Strike just yet, and I think he might just hold off on it to get a Winds of Nature.
And look at Skylar, right? With the item builds, he's actually going for a very offensive build here. Not really going for any defensive items just as of yet, right? Just the BOD and the Endless Battle with the Malefic Roar. And is he building towards a Windtalker? I feel like Scarlet Phantom, maybe?
There's a potential he could go for Berserker's Fury if he really wants to double up on the stats, right? I mean, he does have quite a lead for himself. He's 3-0-1. He's got 1 component for defensive items for an extra bit of just raw defense. But now, here's the important part. RSG must let go of these inhibitor turns and wait for the play.
I don't know if that's going to work out, though, because, again, look, the enhanced minions are coming in, and this time it's the Luminous Lord, the enhanced Lord up top. They might just look for the end right here, right now. Emann finds a very cheeky render shot, taking Skylar down to half HP. He doesn't have the regeneration. He has to back up. RRQ looking for something. Nathzz going in for the Falling Star Moon just to zone RRQ away. RSG still a very good defense right now as they clear out the Lord. They survive another day, but there you go. That's where they pull the trigger. It's going to be Dawning Light connecting. Nathzz once again trying to zone them away as the real world manipulation will be able to just zone RSG out. Nathzz walking back, walking out, now coming back in, and Emann with the snipe to just shut down RRQ's attempt of taking game number 1.
Okay, they defend, right? Turret's still up actually in the bottom lane, so they hold on to that. And this is now the 15-minute mark. They buy some more time here. You can see, even with this type of lead, RRQ couldn't end the game there, right? But it's only going to be one mistake that comes out from RSG Philippines that would allow them to take game number 1 here. If you want to talk about what are the chances of RSG Philippines, they really have to be careful of Vin, because this whole game, Vin has been playing very, very aggressively on that Grok, and even when you're turtled up in your base trying to just defend at the crystal, if Vin so chooses to initiate and finds that wild charge, it's going to be a disaster.
No, I totally agree with you here. I think RSG PH made a good call. They understand they're not in a position to completely take a full-blown team fight against RRQ HOSHI, especially when they have all their ultimates back up. So they position themselves behind the crystal. Oh, Light having to force the flicker out of that situation. That means he's not going to be able to make a big play, but we'll see in a little bit. RSG PH, now they need to hit that 42K mark and then immediately 48. They need to win one team fight, and that's going to be towards Lord side.
I was about to mention, right, RSG Philippines, 16 minutes, here it is. Here's the time where they can actually look for something, perhaps the Lord fight here. But because Light has actually used that flicker, that gives so much room for RRQ HOSHI to play these team fights. They have so many plans to execute here, and I feel like without that flicker, without that X factor, it's going to be really hard for Light to find the Tyrant's Revenge. They do go for something here, and they're looking for the flags. This is actually something that we've seen from them yesterday. RRQ, they read it out, they back off, and they push in that mid lane.
I mean, look at R7. He's already got priority down on bot side. Somebody has to respond to it, and Aqua won't be there for this fight.
Yeah, and it's going to be Vin actually zoning them out. Lord taken down to half HP. Nathzz just chaining that Falling Star Moon, looking for something, but it is just going to be the crisp, clean zone from RRQ. They control the objective. They take it for free, and RSG once again are forced in their base.
Yeah, we saw that, right? You're getting to the point. Light is trying to find those moments for him. Emann was following him around, but also they knew Aqua's in the base trying to clear those minions, right? Someone has to defend, but at the same time, at this point, the 17-minute mark, a powered up, a beefed up Lord is going to be marching into the base. Now you have a lot more to handle in this kind of defense, because at the same time, again, Vin will be the deciding factor here. If he can find that setup here, this is going to be a tough one for RSG Philippines to defend.
Well, let's keep in mind that Light, his flicker is going to be back up. By the time the Lord actually makes it in towards our base, Light should have about, I don't know, 6 to 7 seconds left on that cooldown. This could be their moment to actually turn things around.
Enhanced Lord in the mid lane. RRQ marching here as they're looking for something. Dawning Light to defend as that real world manipulation comes in. Emann gets chain CC'd, forced to flicker out. Nathzz in the back line trying to deal the damage. Skylar will be able to flicker out, but Nathzz finds him in that back line. It's going to be Alberttt trying to zone them away, looking for the defense. Clayyy onto the base. He's just hitting on it. The base hasn't fallen. R7 loses his immortality, and RSG, they punish this. R7 taken down, a 2-for-1, and RSG come out on top. Demonkite will choose to back off.
What a defense.
What a defense.
You got to give it up to them, right? They're still going to handle these minions here. They should be fine. But still, that powered up Lord, you saw the play coming out from Vin. RSG Philippines, you give them props because they buy a little more time. They might be able to actually get a couple more objectives if they can push in to the mid lane. Look at that tier 1 turret still up.
All right, let's check this replay out because I think here, this is an awkward spot. In RRQ, the first time we're seeing them actually miscommunicate a situation. Alberttt, unfortunately, he gets locked up, and for Skylar, he gets zoned away, so he can't technically hit this crystal. But Clayyy himself, right, he's in the real world manipulation. He cannot deal damage to that crystal, so all the DPSs are delayed, and RSG slowly pick away the minions, slowly start taking away the Lord, and once they had that done, they had a clean defense to go through.
And even if Clayyy actually just targeted the base, right, let's say he canceled out that real world manipulation, utility build, remember, he's building for utility, he's building to enable Skylar. If Skylar gets caught out there and RRQ makes another one of those mistakes, it might just be RSG Philippines who just capitalize through and punish them.
I love that you say utility, right? Because he's still topping the damage charts here. And let's take a look at the items.
Yep, I mean, as we mentioned, utility build, he does go for the glowing wand, which personally, I do think that he should have gone for something a little bit more hard hitting, because if we're seeing that Aqua, he wants to make sure that Skylar is low. Look at his build. He can scale, and his last item will predetermine what he wants to. He could go for a Holy Crystal if he wants to. He could go for the Winter Truncheon to be a little bit more defensive. At the end of the day, those 3 items that we see before us, Lightning Truncheon into Clock of Destinies, into the Holy Glaive, is enough to bring Skylar to his knees. 50% of his HP guaranteed.
Yeah, and at this point, right, this is the crucial Lord. We're at the 20-minute mark here. I don't see RSG Philippines letting this one go, right? Even though they need to defend their base, Aqua will most likely be there, has that Dawning Light like you mentioned, plus those items available, and now Lord going to be at half health.
Oh, Alberttt looks for the pick here, goes in for the heavy spin, will be able to pin Light down, as that's going to be Skylar picking up the kill. The Athena has been propped. Now with the Dawning Light coming through, Emann is going to come through with the dash, R7 flickering out. Clayyy just getting zoned away by Nathzz here, doing so much in that back line. 1v4, Alberttt looking for Retribution, will fall as the Retri comes down. Emann is huge, is massive. He takes down 2 before his immortality pops, and it's gonna be Skylar looking for compensation. He dodges away, pops the flicker as well. RRQ lose out. It's a 3-for-1.
Unfortunate situation for RRQ. They had a good idea, but they didn't think a little bit ahead. After they pulled back away and got that initial pick on towards Light, RSG lose a lot of their initiation, but RRQ, they gave up a little bit of too much space. They pulled back, and the Lord didn't reset, so that put them at a crossroads.
Dude, that was massive. Look at the gold now. There's no gold lead for RRQ anymore at this point, right? They're getting objective and turret after turret. They still have the Lord marching in the top lane, and right now, it's RRQ with their backs against the wall.
Yeah, Emann there went for a very, very good render shot. Unfortunately, Skylar was able to get out of it. They punish RRQ now, building a lead for themselves. 1.5k as that evolved Lord will be marching down that top side. Emann just chunking it through, sieging it down. They're looking for more here, I believe. They might actually be looking for the end. This is the quote-unquote Omega timer that they are doing here. Let's see, real world manipulation being put down for the side of RRQ. Finn taken low, will have to back up here. That's gonna be Light looking for something. Doesn't get anyone here. Forced to pop the bouncing ball. Wild Charge was connected there, but it's gonna be Alberttt bringing Nathzz back all the way. Finn taken down, but it's gonna be Nathzz who gets traded back. That's the immortality pop. He's still able to run away. He gets out, and RSG find another 1-for-0 on top of that mid lane base turret.
Great play around that immortality that they had too, right? Again, this is Alberttt now trying to be forced to make plays for the team. You can already see Emann feeling much better. He's now got 4 kills, and they're feeling confident with Aqua as well.
Totally, and even Skylar, he's changing things up. He's got a Demon Hunter sword this time to make sure he's taking out these tanks a little bit faster. Light initially was out of position after failing to engage. He had the flicker, but again, no right opportunity. Here we go!
Alberttt pops that heavy spin, taken down instantaneously. That's going to be everyone looking for the base, but RSG gets zoned out by the real world manipulation. Emann has the Wesker out. He's looking for something here as Light pops in the Tyrant's Rage. Will be able to get the Tyrant's Revenge. He flickers out of there, and he gets the trade. That's our 7 trade for no one as the Dawning Light comes through and takes up the kill. Killing spree for Aqua. He is massive here, but RRQ are able to fend off once more.
Quite an ego challenge coming out of there from Light. He didn't need to go for this engage. He had no reason to actually jump onto R7, especially since they couldn't really converge it. A couple of their members were coming back up, especially Vin coming back up from the respawn. I think RSG at this point, they need to reset, go back to square one because the next Lord is up in 15 seconds.
Emann better be careful here, right? Because this is not where you want to make a mistake, especially like you guys said, they needed to reset. Lord's going to be up here in about 5 seconds. And at this point, right, it's still anyone's game because this team fight will really depend on who takes this one, right? And they already picked up those immortalities. Now, R7 isn't up yet, so they have the numbers advantage. Let's see if RRQ contests this.
I don't think they can here. Look at the Dawning Light there. He's able to take Clayyy off here. That's going to be Vin opening up the map. Going to get punished there as he looks for an opening, but will not be able to find it. RSG PH, they turn the tides of the match instantly with that one team fight. That's another evolved Lord Nathzz.
Yeah, and that's Flippy Toppy, like we mentioned in the draft, right? They've learned things from their opponents, and that's what they're doing here. Now the tables have turned, and RSG Philippines will be the ones marching into the base of RRQ.
Notice the one item that everybody must have at some point in this game, it's immortality. Everybody is building up that goal to switch it out. I don't think, considering the number of deaths that we've had so far and the amount of time that has passed, both sides are going to be really digging deep for the economy. Even Demonkite, he's doubling down on damage. He's not even going for the tenacity potion here. And what are we seeing there? What are we seeing there? Oh, a prolific roar coming in from Skylar once again.
Actually, the Wind of Nature here. So he actually opted to sell, I forgot, either Berserker's Fury or the Wind Talker there for a defensive item. Skylar actually going to be able to get out of that Tower's Revenge of the Flicker. Very aware to get out of that, but now with no Flicker, that's a huge resource. Nathzz looking to play. Going in for the Falling Sun Moon, gets bursted down to half HP. It is an Esmeralda, very, very tanky, still can't run away. Light charging in for the Tower's Revenge, doesn't connect it onto anyone, particularly only Vin. Now, real world manipulation, looking for re-engage onto Aqua. Light's gonna be isolated here. The Dawning Light connects on the 3 members. It is gonna be Light. The rest is still getting out. Demonkite looking for the trade. Vin survives with 1 HP. Oh my goodness, RRQ, they defend and RSG are forced to back off again. They do win the trade though.
This is crazy, right? This now, I mean, both bases exposed here, but what team has the power to actually push one in and get that crystal? Because this is what we've seen from both teams, right? Just defending out of their minds. Alberttt finding plays to, especially to punish Light, and it's working out so well. Another immortality going to be picked up.
Wow, that's, I mean, this is quite the stalemate between both sides, right? 25 minutes into the game, already for game number 1. We are not seeing anybody kind of crumbling under the pressure. RSG PH, this was their plan all along, and especially with how the early game to mid game went, this is what they had to double down onto. Now that they're online, they can really start taking control of the tempo, and that's what they've been doing all game against RRQ.
You can see this, Finn already playing it aggressively once again, trying to open up for his team. But at this point, right, I feel like Emann can burst him down with just one Wesker ultimate and shot. No, not a few shots, but you get what I mean here. Vin isn't as tanky as he was when they had the lead.
Yeah, because 26 minutes in, right? And at this point, like you guys mentioned, it's pretty much a stalemate. It's either going to come down to someone finding a pick here with a good setup or just waiting, buying time for another Lord fight. Because the next Lord that's going to come up here, it's going to hurt quite a bit. And also at the same time, you can see another item being picked here by Skylar. He's really swapping those items out.
All right, hopefully we get to see the item list just before this Lord spawns because it's about to get some crazy energy here. As Nathzz, he's going to get Pyro and get a slow push on top side before joining this fight down bottom side.
RRQ are trying to push the pace here, but the Dawning Light and that Renner just keeps on poking RRQ down. This is going to be such a big problem, and I don't know how they're going to find a solution for it. How are they going to, answer this? Right now, it's just the regeneration coming in that's really saving the day, but when the Dawning Light keeps on coming like that, it's just really frustrating if you're RRQ. RSG have their number right now. And even the die route, R7 is forced to stay up top. They're just instantly going at it, committing onto this Lord. It's already taken down to a quarter of its health as Nathzz does his thing. He just zones away all the members. Dawning Light once again connecting on the 3. Albert looking for the steal right now as Finn jumps in with that wall charge. Demonkite gets it. RSG, they collapse once more. Alberttt caught low there with the winner's run, just still able to run away. Demonkite gonna get taken low, but Emann finds it, just gets it there. The Dawning Light finds it. Emann with the triple kill. Oh, to Skylar. He is showing revenge. He dodges away from Clayyy, and Clayyy cannot defend alone.
This is huge. RSG PH completely abusing the Savior, maintaining the enlightened form, and they find one more, a monster kill. Aqua, low key, now taking it high key.
The King Slayers with game number 1 to end it off here. It was one turn, one team fight that dictated this match.
Aqua and Emann both just